Sara Nicolette. Good morning, Sara. How are you? Just
Good.
pull that thing right up there, and I appreciate that because a lot of people are afraid to grab a hold of it and get it close to them because if you don't talk into it, we can't hear you.
But if you break it, we will send you a bill.
Yes, that is true.
No, because I know how much these things cost. Don't send me a bill.
Yeah, they hold their value.
I'm just teasing.
At one point in my schools, we were in a building and the acoustics were so bad that we had to teach with lapel mics. So you got used to doing it, but you had to remember to turn it off when you stepped out or would discuss.
Right,
because it would,
bathroom.
yeah, they were cordless.
My wife has one.
You didn't want to yell at anybody and forget to turn it off.
She wears it every day, and her reasoning for it is that she has this condition called Sjogren's syndrome and fibromyalgia, so it's a dehydration. So she's always constantly having to drink water, and she's always dehydrated. So she was finding that she was getting hoarse when she was trying to talk to students. So they gave her this little mic system, and she wears it around her neck, usually home, almost every day. It's unbelievable. She forgets. So what is that on your neck? Well, I've left my mic.
It's actually to yell at you louder. Bill!
Yeah.
Do the thing!
Well, there's no system at our house.
Well,
And it doesn't. And the good news is it doesn't pick up from our house.
It could probably go in the neighbor. It could go in the neighbors.
Could go to the neighbors.
Baby monitor. You
Right.
never know.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're
really
right.
seriously if they're tied in right.
Same frequency. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We talked a little bit yesterday, Sara, and you are the LPN coordinator at Herkimer County BOCES.
Correct.
And we were talking about this case in Rome with Tony Otto, and it kind of sparked you. This is Nurses Week, right?
That's correct.
And there's a shortage. What's going on?
Well, there's always a little bit of a shortage, but now we really have, as I said
you
yesterday,
called it
it's
critical.
a bit of. It is critical. It's a perfect storm.
Right.
So what I train our LPNs, licensed practical nurses, in New York State under the Nurse Practice Act. There are 3 levels of professional nursing. There's a licensed practical nurse, there's a registered nurse, and then there's a nurse practitioner. All 3 require a set curriculum and training. All have to take a national nursing board test to pass and be licensed or registered, whatever you want to call it. So in New York State, the RNs have sort of been holding steady, but over the last 6 to 8 years, there's been a 30% decrease in the amount of people going into licensed practical nursing for a variety of reasons. Most of our program, it's a clock hour program, and we don't.
And your program is high school students.
No,
right?
I have an all adult.
Oh, it's all adult.
I graduated from a high school program, but they phased them out. I guess they thought being 18 in charge of a floor was too young.
Yeah.
So, but I was.
Although, honest
that
to
was
God, I
many
swear,
years ago.
Maybe I'm just getting older, but when I was in the hospital, some of these people look like you cannot be old enough to be taking my blood pressure. But maybe
it's when the doctors or surgeons are that
You're
young
right.
that you really have.
You're right.
You have troubles. You're like, excuse
good point.
me.
Yeah.
Do you have a driver's license? Yeah.
So this is an adult program. So you
Yes, it is.
And done through BOCES, and sometimes we
correct.
forget about the fact that BOCES does a lot with adult programs.
We do. We're the main in Herkimer. We're the main adult program that's there. You do qualify for financial aid with our program. We are regulated under the New York State Education Department as well. But we're self-contained.
Okay.
Funding for our program does not come from the districts at all. We're totally a tuition-based program.
Okay. And so would it be considered a nursing school? Tell me what the program...
We're a nursing school.
So what do you accomplish? So from the start to finish?
All right. So first of all, we use a TEAS exam, which is the same. It's a test of essential academic skills, the same as the RN programs use for entry basis. And then there's an interview process they have to get through me.
Okay.
And then in the main thing that I'm looking at in the interview process are do they have plans for their life? Because we offer 3 tracks. We offer full-time, which is a 12-month program, very intense and hard to work. So you have to tell me how are you going to manage your life. And then we have part-time days, and we have part-time evenings. So the bulk and majority of our students go through part-time, and they work full-time. And they all have families, but they're not just coming out of nursing homes. I have people who are in banking, in all sorts of other industries, and that's what our evening program post
These
for.
are people that are saying, you know what, I want to go into nursing. It might be part-time. It might be
Right.
full-time.
Well, yes, they
Yeah.
have an interest in nursing, and they want a job that's more than a job; it's a career.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an LPN, you can work your entire nursing career as an LPN, and you're a nurse.
Yeah.
I like to say the difference is it's a difference in what you legally can do. So, when I go out on the highway, my driver's license allows me to drive my car,
Right,
good,
right.
bad, or indifferent. I can't get on a motorcycle because there's a different training, and I certainly can't drive.
Tractor trailers.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
frightening.
It's a great
So
analogy.
Although, if you ever try, let us know. We'll tape it.
there you go.
Yeah. Be a good video.
I will. But so it's what I'm licensed to do. It's not that I have not been educated in the basic rules
okay.
of the road and
Interesting.
driving.
Right.
Gotcha.
So as an LPN, I do not, under the New York State Practice Act, have what are called assessment privileges, meaning I cannot look and say, totally, this is what's going on, and set a nursing care plan. Those are the two things that I can't. I have to. It's a codependent position. I have to work with an RN or with a dentist or with a physician, and they basically take responsibility and they do the assessment part and they set the plan for the patient.
Okay.
But I do everything else as an LPN. Some people are very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
As an RN, I now am more responsible. It's like the difference between being a stepmother to a child and being a mother to the child.
And the RN, is that means a lot of paperwork? I used to
schooling?
hear that.
It's more schooling. So an LPN is generally full-time, can be done in under a year. Like we have an 1,180 month, 80 month.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awful?
That'd be a long
80-hour program. For an RN now, a lot of the schools require them to take prerequisites, which are then that's a year or two.
Okay.
And then it's 2 years for the RN. And now New York State requires within 5 years of getting your RN for any graduates from here on that you have your bachelor's degree.
Wow. Wow. And if you wanted to become a nurse practitioner versus a doctor you're going to go to school for.
Ever.
Yeah.
So a nurse practitioner, you have to have a bachelor's degree. And then it is, depending on the program, it's a couple more years. It's a master's level.
Okay. All right. Which isn't bad. I mean, and you see a lot of nurse practitioners versus doctors today.
That's another reason where there's a shortage in LPNs. With the change in the way we administer our medicine in the clinic, it's primarily a clinic setting, we have most of the nurses that you go and see there are LPNs. So you see LPNs actively employed in this area in skilled nursing facilities, in all the clinics. Most of those nurses are LPNs. You see them heavily used in dialysis and home care. They're every place, in the OR. And outside of this area, the hospitals are actually segueing them back into doing direct patient care on the floors.
Okay. As somebody that just spent a week in a hospital without the nursing staff. I mean, the doctors are awesome. We love doctors, but that nursing staff is...
It's hard work.
And it's not just women. So often you think of nurses. I had a lot of male nurses
It's
as well.
an excellent field for men to get into.
Yeah. And that's where you go when you're feeling the pain and you need to talk to somebody because the doctor's not going to be there all the time. But the nurse is there. And it's such an important position. Can't tell you enough how big it was for me in the middle of the night, but without getting into that.
I've been in the business 43 years, so I agree. I started as an LPN.
So this could mean you could be a home health nurse. Do you see that?
Yes, in
today?
fact, they do use them heavily in home care for visit nurses, hospice employees. So I think there's just a misnomer when it comes to the LPN that it's only going to be in skilled nursing.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I did a survey in the spring, and I found 653 or so jobs just in primary and long-term care that required an LPN, and there were 123 openings then. That didn't include the openings that were in other clinics. One large clinic I know had 40 openings at that point for LPNs. And
40 openings.
40 openings.
So what does that mean for the nurses that are already on staff? It means they're covering all those shifts.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
And you hear a lot of that.
And there's a decrease in people going into the field. So, I mean, I'm here today because it's a wonderful field. It's been wonderful for myself, for my family, and I really want to encourage people to look at the level of an LPN. And if there are any RN students who unfortunately were not successful, if they've had at least the first year done, or which would be 2 semesters, or especially like 3 semesters, I transfer them in and finish them as an LPN in our part-time program in a year.
All right. Wow. I'll get to all the how-to stuff in a second. How do they get to you and all of that? But when I was also in, it almost seemed as if there were people who were techs.
Yes.
That would maybe come in and take your temperature, your blood pressure, but they were young. And
yes.
Where are they techs? Is that, so it's the difference between a tech and a nurse?
All the hospitals employ techs, so some of the hospitals are segueing LPNs back into that position more. They still have.
And what's
techs.
the difference between a tech and an LPN?
Well, an LPN has gone through at least a year's worth of school, and they have passed the National Council State Boards of Nursing PN exam. They are held accountable with the state. They have a license, and any one of the 3 of you gentlemen could be a tech if you went and got hired tomorrow. Week's training.
Really?
Put you in scrubs, and you're good to go.
Wow. Well, I already know where to go for
Bill,
the pay
Jeff,
raise.
I will. I consider this my resignation.
How is this just for Herkimer County residents? Your program?
Oh, no. We pull from 50-mile radius.
Wow.
Because of our part-time programs, and because the program in Johnstown has closed. There is a program in Madison County, and they do run an outreach satellite program in Utica, but the program north of us closed, south of us closed, just reopened, but we've been here since 1963.
Wow. And are they closing because
there's a lack of students, and because of the way they're associated with the BOCES, our tuition seemed to be a little bit higher, but when you're done, I have a job fair next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We have 20-plus employers coming. Everybody will walk out with 2 or 3 offers.
Wow. So if you're looking to go into a field where you can almost expect 100% placement,
right,
you're going into nursing.
Yep, and they're coming out at like 19 to 22, 24 bucks an hour, and all the overtime you want.
And all the overtime you want. Okay. We have a lot of shortages of employees in this area. It's really, it's baffling, and nursing is one of those areas that is causing a real serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do they contact you?
The easiest way is simply to Google Herkimer BOCES LPN, or go to the Herkimer BOCES site. There's a round dot that says LPN. Click on that. That's our website. Or they can call 315-867-2210 is our admissions office, or 315-867-2209 is my direct line.
Very nice. Sara Nicolette, thank you very much. We'll do it again and try to spread the word.
Okay, thank you.